The Lord is never going to bless idleness. And this can be such a hard pill to swallow, but please allow me to explain. When you are in idleness, you are focusing on everything but the Lord. You're focusing on what feels good to me, whether that's doom scrolling, sitting on the couch, doing nothing all day, being lazy. It feels good to be idle. But the thing about this is idleness and pursuing our physical desires puts a direct blockage on what the Lord is trying to tell us, which means that when we're praying for clarity, when we're praying for a blessing, when we're praying for God to show us something, when we're praying for a yes, but we're operating in idleness too, they block each other and it opens the door to physical pleasures. Now, the perfect example that I want to bring up in the Bible is 2 Samuel chapter 11, and that's this famous story with David and Bathsheba. Now, David was supposed to be at war with the Israelites during this time, like how kings usually were, but instead he was idle at the palace, something kings didn't usually do. And this opened the door to sin because he saw Bathsheba bathing and pursued that. If he wasn't being idle, he wouldn't have even been put in this situation. But even if he was in this situation, if he was operating in a way that was purposeful to the Lord, where he was thinking about him, he wouldn't have even pursued Bathsheba, wouldn't have gotten her pregnant, wouldn't have committed adultery, wouldn't have committed murder. It was just a snowball of sin that was all opened by the main factor, which was idleness. When you are idle, you cannot expect yourself to hear from the Lord and to hear what he has to tell you or be able to decipher whether or not he's talking to you. Now, something else, two scriptures that I think are vital scriptures to bring up in this conversation are Ephesians 2:10, which says, "For we are God's handiwork, created in Christ Jesus to do good works, which God prepared in advance for us to do." Meaning, we are prepared to work. We were created in God's image to do work, to fulfill a purpose, to serve him, to serve something. And when we're not serving something, we're acting in direct opposition to what we're designed for, which means it makes it harder to hear the voice of the Lord. Secondly, Proverbs 13:4, "A sluggard's appetite is never filled, but the desires of the diligent are fully satisfied." If you're lazy, if you're sluggard, if you're sloth, you can't expect your appetite to be genuinely fulfilled with anything but physical desires. You can't expect to get that satisfaction from the Lord because you simply cannot hear him. But if you are diligent, you're fully satisfied. Where does our satisfaction come from? The Lord. The Lord will take joy in satisfying your desires. He'll take joy in giving you blessings, and you'll be able to hear from him because you're operating in your purpose. You're doing good works. You're doing works. You're doing something. Even if you don't know what your purpose is, if you're doing something that you know that the Lord would be proud of, if you're serving him, doing everything with him in mind, he will speak to you. You'll be able to hear him. He'll answer those prayers, and he'll make it much easier for you to hear him. But if you're sloth, idle, the opposite happens. So if I leave you with anything, I'll leave you with work diligently for the Lord. Do not be idle, and you will expect to hear from him. You'll expect the blessings, and he'll just give them to you. You won't even have to ask for them because it's like because he just loves you. There you go.